Alright guys and girls, welcome back to another quick video of mine on my YouTube channel, Anthony Kenneth Bishop. So today I am just doing another sort of photography sort of style video, and sort of talk about the editing I've done with the colouring, just to try and do like the colour correction and all that. Just using just the standard software which came with Windows 10, and that was basically all I used. If you go into photos, I think it's called, or pictures, or what, images, I think it's images. Right, if you go to images, and then just go to the pictures, you well, the Windows 10 has their own sort of video editing software. You can edit the video, the picture, I should say, not video but the picture, and then just correct the colors, from the from the brightness to the contrast, and all the other settings in there as well, the blacks, the whites, all the colors. Is really good actually. So basically, 2 seconds guys and girls. Right. So anyway, so they've got the contrast. I wanted to do some out in the fields. I wouldn't say the camera lens I was using, the Sony, 210mm lens. To be honest, it's not that sharp. I mean, I paid like 300 quid for it. Obviously, if I'd got a bit closer and zoomed in a bit more, it would have got probably more focus. But it's the the actual lens I'm using, because I've done a couple of experiments. I'm just doing mixing at the moment. This is the 4.5 to 6.3. Someone recommended me to use f8 stops, 8 stops, of light on the contrast, or the focal length, the iris bit. So you open up, but to shut it down a little bit to 8.0, so you're not letting too much light in, just enough, to sort of focus. I will try and do some more of these pictures at some point, of these, in f8, and I'll try and tweak some of the settings, because I'm using the Sony Alpha 6300 at the moment with the Sony. This is the Sony optical steady shot. It means it steady shots it for you. So if you've got no tripod, if you haven't got a tripod, it basically it's like a tripod. It'll keep it nice and steady shot for you. It's 210. It's got a 135. It's got 100, 70, and 55. So you can choose between the settings. So if you want to put it on 70, if you want to put it on 100, or if you want to put it on 135. I know they've got the 135 G Master out at the moment, just came out, but that's over like £2,000 or something, £1,500, and I think that's a lot. But then again, you do get sort of image quality. Then again, I have no idea if they would fit on an Alpha 6300. But yeah, I think the G Master ones are like the sort of professional, top of the range style camera lenses. Um, I'm just mastering sort of the low end ones at the moment, because I've done a few with my lenses at the moment. I've got some Meike 35s. I've got a Meike 50mm as well, which is the 35 is the equivalent to a 50mm lens, full frame and all that. The 50mm lens is a full frame one, but it's only good for full frame really, but you can still use them pretty much on the sort of non full frames. So yeah, it's still cool. Good gadgets and good lenses and stuff. But yeah, as you can see, the little cowl there, look, right in the one to the right side, seems to focus in a little bit more, but the further ones at the back, you can see those two cows there, the middle bit section, they seem to be sort of yeah, just like out of focus a little bit, or quite a bit actually. But I was actually, I'd say probably I'd say 400 meters. I'd say 400 meters out. So, or about, yeah, about 400 meters I'm gonna say. But the camera lens is a 210 meters, so it's not really getting to that closeness on it. If it had gone a bit closer, if it was a 400mm, probably would have got spot on and it would have been more clearer. But anyway, let's get to the next image and I'll show you through to the next one. Alright, let's have a look. Anyway, here's another one of the cows in the field. This looks more cleaner because I'm actually using the 70, actually it was 55 I think it was. Yeah, I was using the 55mm one, so basically I was zoomed full out of the 210 meters to 55 because it's a 55-210 by Sony. It's the optical steady shot as well, the same lens that I'm using, but this seems more clearer, but still you can see it's still sort of out of focus. It might be just me, but then again it might be the f-stops that I'm using, because I use the full, I open up the iris to its full maximum, so it'd be like 4.5 f-stops. So maybe it could be that, or maybe I'm using too much, especially in the light, because someone recommends to use the f8. I suppose in a way it would have, because there's too much light there, so it's not focusing enough on the image itself. So I'm just gonna have to just like mess around with it and see what goes on with it. But anyway, let's get to the next one. This is what I've done the other day, at least anyway, a few of them. Right, so next one here. As you can see, this was much closer. This, I would say, probably 10 foot away, 5 to 10 foot away from the object. But as you can see, the trees look quite clean. It looks clear. You can see what's going on. The image looks good. Some of it's blurry, but I wanted just basically that branch there in the middle to actually be more in focus than the others. So yeah, it looks quite cool. I like the actual colour as well, the textures. The colour, I actually had to bulk up the contrast colours on it, just to give it more vibrant colours, make it look sort of authentic and realistic. Because if you don't put too much colour, sometimes I've noticed this as well. If you go too many sort of, if you close the iris too open too much, you lose contrast of the colours. But if you have it so it's too dark, you're also washing away the colours as well. So you just need to have that balance between the two. And I thought the balance on this was just absolutely amazing. It's incredible. This is still the 210 to 55mm lens by Sony. So yeah, it looks incredible. Let me know in the comments below, guys and girls, which of the pictures is your favourite on here, what I've done in this particular video of itself. Would love to hear from you and your opinions on it as well. If you're a photographer yourself, if what you think on it, what you think I could do to improve the quality in the image, maybe settings wise. I am using manual mode, and I'm also using the AFC, the auto focus continuous, I think it's called. Basically, it just keeps it nice and clean and sort of focused in on it. But when you haven't got a manual mode, you can't really do anything much. With the Meike ones, lenses, those are full manual, so you have to do that yourself. But anyway, I'm going to get to the next bit. Alright, so let's get to the next image. Right, this one here, I took the other day at the garden of a nail, because I just want to see the distance on it, to see how close I could get to that nail. I think I was about 5 to 10 feet away. 5 to 10 feet. Foot. So yeah, I thought this is quite cool. You can see it's quite clear, and you can see it's really focused on that nail. the Alpha 6300 is absolutely a beast in my honest opinion about it. Very quick on the focus, but it's mostly down to the lens itself. The faster the f-stops on the camera lens, right, sorry about that, guys and girls. I'm back now. So yeah, the actual nail in the post here, you can see some of the quality of the image as well on the actual the board itself, the nail and the piece of wood. The wood itself looks okay. You can see some of it. I think there's too much sort of brightness in there as well. I should have toned it down a little bit. Maybe I might have retained some of the image quality on it a bit better. Maybe more in focus. I don't know, but yeah, let us know in the comments below. Just going to try and get through some of these so it doesn't take too long for the videos. Let's go up a little bit. There we go. Right, this is the one I took today, guys and girls. I took this today. This image here is of some dandelions. We can also see the nice bright colours. There's a bit of redness in there. We've got some yellowish colours in there as well. We've got some green. So it's kind of a variety of like colourful, dynamic colours in this sort of picture. It's quite bright, it's vivid, and I wanted to basically retain and make sure it's not washed out the colours. Now I had this brightness up a bit too much, so I tried to close the iris a little bit and then I opened it back up, but I slowly turned it to make sure it was either closed or shut, but I made sure to try and see, because I went too dark and it washed out the colours, so I turned up a little tiny bit and just got the right amount of colours. As you can see, some of it's in focus and some of it's not, but it's just to give that sort of in and out focus on the objectives of the flowers. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I like this one. Took me a bit of time because I actually went down on the grass just to try and get that close. Let's get to the next one. Right, so here we have some leaves or stinging nettles. I wanted to get focus on this as well. I wanted to focus on the stinging nettles in itself as well, and it's fantastic. I kind of like the colours on it. I actually toned up the colours a little bit as well. When you actually edit the colour quality on it, I kind of find it's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to be putting the images over onto my Facebook as well, guys and girls, so you can check my Anthony Bishop Facebook account with all my images on there of the photos that I'm doing on here. Also in videos, so I'm doing videos. Also, I might put some on my Instagram in the next few days. But yeah, if you enjoy these and if they bring you satisfaction and enjoyment into my work that I'm doing on here, let us know in the comments below. Cheers, sort of like for looking at the videos and the pictures. Actually, I'm not finished quite yet though, but yeah, this is quite cool. I like the branches, I like the greens. There's like that brown little twig there as well. That's quite cool. It just makes you feel like I'm taking pictures of nature, which it is, because I'm quite liking nature, to be honest. I want to keep Mother Nature at bay so she doesn't destroy the planet, because they always say Mother Nature comes back to, you know, mess us all up. Anyway, so my next one, little bit greener. I've gone like slightly green. I'm right from the three, or from the last two pictures plus this one, the third one. I've used the Meike 35. No, not 35. The Meike 50mm. And that it's manual mode. It's full manual mode, so you have to open the iris and you have to make sure the colours right and corrected, and you have to make sure it's all in focus. So you've got your focal length, You've got your iris, your light as well, so you can open the light to let a lot of contrast of the light in from the lens, or you can close the iris and make sure it's nice and clean. And then you've got your focus bit as well to keep it nice and focused. So you've got your light and your focus. So you've got the seconds though on it would be fine. Actually, I'll tell you which one it is. It's on this lens. It's got a 1.7. So 1.7 is your f-stops. This is an f1.7 camera lens. It's by Meike. It's Meike. And it's a 50mm, so 1.1.7, and it's in feet. So the further the distance of the object has the equivalent of infinity. It's got infinity on it. Then it's got a 10.3 on it. 5 1.5. So I'm not too sure what the 1.5 is. I don't understand any of them, but I know how to work them and stuff. So I think these ones are how far the object is. So how far the actual objective is, or how far you want the objective. So say if you wanted to, actually let me just show you this as for instance. This make it more better. Me just showing you. Right. Now you see this here, guys and girls. Right, there's a plant or flower right there. Nice and coloured and all that in. Nice and green. You've got some like sort of white, looks like white flower bulbs on the actual leaves there. Now, as you can see here, right at the main bit here, you've got the screen, and it's like it's looking through something, and it's looking through a plant, through a tree. Now, the feet here, by the looks of it, the infinity and all that kind of stuff on it, the infinity is the distance. So say if the object's further away, you've got to adjust a number on it. So it could be 5 1.5, it could be a 3.1, it could be a 2.3 0.7, and then it goes 1.6 0.5, and 0, I think the maximum, actually the minimum is 1.6 0.5. Now that object was a bit further away because it's through the bushes there, but as you can see it's more in focus there. Now if I'd pulled back a little bit, or actually toned the actual numbers down, I could have got that. So those two blurred out ones at the front there, those little like white sort of blurred out things there, those would be more in focus, and the object at the back would be like blurred out. But these two of the main sort of ones just here wouldn't, you would be able to see that, but I would have to step back a bit more so it's more in focus, and then the ones at the back would be blurrier. So it's just more like just messing around with the settings just to get it around. But that's the focal length. So you got your focus and your iris and your focal length on it, on the Meike 50mm. I've got the 35mm as well, but I'm going to be doing some tests on the lenses because I think they're fantastic. But I also want to do them in bright light areas and not use too much of the iris, because you don't need that much, considering that you're going to wash out the rest of the colours. Alright, so next picture, which should be, there we go. So this one here looks more green, looks more in focus, and it looks fantastic. This one I was using with my Meike 50mm again, more in focus. It's actually got the bokeh at the back. As you can see, it's all coloured, like coloured at the back. It's all washed out the back, blurred out. I would love to get myself a Meike 85mm. That's a portrait, sort of full-on portrait lens, and that's more for say taking pictures of people doing pictures and stuff and all that, or family photo portraits and stuff like that. But yeah, the 85mm at the moment, give or take, I thought it was like 150 quid. Let's have a look. Right, let's have a look. So a Meek or Mike, I don't know how you pronounce it, Meek. So Meike, 80, 85mm. I think it's a 1.8 or f1.8, so it's going to be quite good for a portrait lens. Prices. Now there's various different prices going at the moment. Large aperture. So the aperture of the lens is 4 frame with autofocus. Oh, it's got autofocus on it. What? And they're charging 249 quid for that. That's not bad, considering it's sort of a budget, low end, but high end quality. It's a prime lens, and it's a telephoto one, but the aperture is 4 frame autofocus. F1.8, 85mm lens for EF on. Where is this? I don't know what's the. Actually, no, that's the EF. Trying to find the E mount for the Sony lenses, because you've got to get the right particular one. Now this one's $262.99 on Amazon. This is the Meek 85mm f2.8 manual focus. Oh, this is the manual one. You want the aspherical medium telephoto 4 frame. So yeah, that's the one. Its fixed focal length is 85mm. Maximum aperture is f2.8. Features a manual focus aspherical lens, structure 8, group 11 slices, maximum aperture f2.8, filter diameter 55mm, suitable for EF mounts, lightweight, built for mirrorless cameras, specially designed. Because this camera is actually mirrorless. It doesn't have a mirror in it. That's why it's called a mirrorless camera. And I think, to be honest, Sony are coming up with some great cameras now, and I think that eventually they're going to be hard to beat, because their technology is just by far the best technology out there at the moment. So literally Nikon's gonna have to come up with something, pull something decent out of their asses and all that in the next few years. And also Canon and all that. I don't know about Canon, because I don't know much about them, or the Nikon, but I used to have the D3200, and then I've still got that in the other room, but I don't use that as much because I'm not really actually much into the Nikons no more. I'm more into my Sony lenses and Sony cameras. I just think they're the best for the budget and for your money. Period. Alright, so my next one, if I can get to the last image, here we go, look at that. Now some of that's out of focus. I think there's too much light there as well. I've noticed there's too much light. I didn't really know to put this on or not, but as you can see at the front, at the bottom, you can see that's like, to be honest, I should have closed the iris a little bit on that, or quite a bit. Maybe gone down a few stops of light just to get rid of it, just to close it. But I don't know, it's the purpleness on it. I wanted to try and get a really good sort of spot on it, but I don't know. I'm probably gonna not delete this one, but delete the picture and stuff on the actual picture, and then give it a second try. Just get it more in focus, turn down the light and all that kind of stuff, and then see how well it is. But anyway, guys and girls, if you enjoyed this episode, it is the 29th today of June 2019 at the time of the video. If you enjoyed the episode, do like, favourite, share, comment, subscribe. Cheers for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next episode of my videos. And yeah, it's been fun. I'll see you soon, guys and girls.